Ever get any money from Costello?
No.
And did you ever get any money from Meyer Lansky?
I never got money from any of those fellas.
None of those
None
fellas?
of those fellas. None of these that I've been reading about, and none that I knew. They never gave me anything.
None of the Shetties?
No.
You
I
think-
don't even speak to the... I mean, I met that Charlie once or twice. I don't even talk to him.
You don't like him?
I was conscious of the fact that he had a reputation for being an outstanding bookmaker.
You ever hear him referred to as the Prime Minister of the Underworld?
That term I did not.
Also known as Duck Corella. I refuse to answer on the grounds of an attempted criminal. Got any business? I refuse to answer on the grounds of attempted criminal. You have any profession? I refuse to answer on the grounds of made attempted. Have any occupation? I refuse to answer on the grounds of made attempted. Are you a known racketeer?
An incarcerated individual's use of institutional telephones constitutes consent, and your calls may be provided to law enforcement agencies. Thank you for using Securus.
Welcome, folks. Friday night, the grand jury, our Friday night show where we select 5 volunteers from the social media platform X to serve as a grand jury. We watch police use of force videos, and we ask them to kind of use the reasonable person standard and as a grand jury would, and decide whether the force they see is reasonable and lawful or unreasonable and unlawful. But let's meet tonight's grand jurors. We have the Queen Bee. Queen Bee, you're on X, pretty popular in Spaces. That's how you and I have met. What should the rest of the world know about you?
Well, the rest of the world should know I am a conservative MAGA Trump supporter. Yay. Very heavy in politics, 30-year veteran business owner, mom, wife, and Gigi. And you can find me on X at the Queen Bee 357.
Interesting account, folks out there. She's worth a follow. She'll at least make you think about it. She'll make you chuckle. We have Miss Walker. Miss Walker 613 on X. What's your purpose for being on X?
Oh, my purpose for being on X is I'm a commentary account. I have more opinions than I do buttholes.
I hope that's I'm not going to process that one, but another interesting account. Our next volunteer, Sergeant Petrie. Sergeant Petrie, same with you, my friend. What do people who are not following you, what would you say to them to encourage them to do so? Did we lose Sergeant Petrie? Let's go to Jack. Jack, same to you, my friend. What's your purpose for X?
Purpose for X. You can catch me on X, either hosting MMTLP spaces, ranting about politics, or talking about hockey. 37 years old from LA. People describe me as an asshole with a heart of gold. And everyone's entitled to my opinion. That's my motto.
Good enough, my friend. And our friend Apple, our 4th volunteer. We'll get Sergeant Petrie back here in a few moments, and we may have to catch up later about his story. But Apple, what's yours?
I've been in X since 2011, engaged after getting tired of the fake news. People say I bring a lot to the spaces, but they're divided on what? Thank you for having me.
You are very welcome. And just like any grand jury, we have expert witnesses. We've got Jason. Now, Jason's been doing this since the very beginning, so it's kind of hard to say. He's really more like a co-host or a host on this show. He's done it as many times as I have. But Jason is a 30-year veteran of law enforcement. And, folks, Jason just retired. He's literally just retired and is moving on to his second venture, which is 3D Response, which you all know we love that. And we've got a little clip of that to come up later to show you why we love the 3D Response. But Jason, welcome back once again, my friend. And anything you want to say about yourself?
Day one of retirement was very boring, but it's good to be retired. 30 years, held pretty much narcotics, lieutenant, sergeant, patrol, school resource officer, kind of investigations, kind of done the gauntlet. And the show is actually kind of fun for me. So good seeing you guys.
So it was a slow day yelling at kids to get off your grass, first day of retirement?
didn't go that far yet. I'm sure that'll be coming up next week.
You just got to get it on the agenda. It'll all happen for you. But congratulations, my friend. I'm sure it's bittersweet, but congratulations. 30 years is an accomplishment. And now we've got a new expert witness with us tonight. It's Matty B. I've met this guy in Spaces. He's done some of the similar things that I've done and Jason has done in law enforcement. And I think that he could provide some good insight. But Matty B, what little of you does the world need to know?
Well, a couple thanks first. Joe, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And Jason, that's an amazing run. So thank you for your service, for everything you've done. But born and raised in Detroit. So Jack, I'm a big hockey fan just like you. I'm a recently retired ICE agent. I spent 29 years with ICE, and now I'm a government contractor working for Homeland Security. Thanks, Joe.
Glad to have you, my friend. I hope you have fun. And that's another thing, too, guys. We're going to have fun doing this tonight. It's a mock grand jury. It's only a grand jury. I think that you're allowed to consume alcoholic beverages and still participate in. So we'd like that. If everybody would repost this out, X has got a little problem. You have to know about it to find me. It's not like I come up as a lot of options. I can't put notices out like Spaces. And we do have a Space that's listening along, too, for the first time. We'll bring them in a little bit later and talk about how they see and they have their own special case, actually. We call it the Space case that will come up just a little bit later. Now, Bruce Wayne's pulling in as producer tonight. Bruce Wayne, same for you, my friend. You have a good following on X. What's your purposes?
I'm just going to be producing for you. Thinker, drinker, constitutionalist. Excited for the show. And we got Sergeant Petrie back.
Well, we're going to move on with it. We'll catch up with Sergeant Petrie's platform a little bit later if we can, but we are on a time crunch. We have a lot of cases to get through tonight. Let me go over one more thing. Folks, I want you to watch the video. The rules are that you only consider the evidence that's presented to you here, not evidence that you saw something happen later or that you do a Google search while the video's going. Only use the information that we're providing here. You should only use the information that's available to the actor. If it's an officer, the officer would be the actor in this case, the person that's using the force. You can only use information that the actor would have known or should have known at the time. Things that are obvious or things that we know through the evidence that's presented that information was available to them. And we're going to ask you you're looking for probable cause. Probable cause is just more likely than not that a crime occurred or the force was unlawful, and more likely than not, the person accused is responsible for that act. It's not a high standard. You're not convicting someone like you would in a jury with beyond a reasonable doubt. And we're not going to get too far in the weeds with it. I'll give you jury instructions between each case, and they'll be very simple. Answer those questions, and we'll get ourselves to a verdict. Do we have any questions before we get to the first case? I'll take your silence as acknowledgement. Let's get to case one.
Southeast Patrol Division officers responded to a radio call for an assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence in progress, in the 900 block of East 118th Drive. The caller described the suspect as a male black, armed with a gun, and possibly seeking suicide by police.
One operator 282. I need help, please. Please, I need help. I need help. I need help. 918th Drive. Please, I need help.
What's going on?
My son is hitting his baby mom. He won't stop. I'm trying to cut him the time.
Okay, hold on one moment. Let me go ahead and get the... Don't hang up the phone, okay?
Please, because I'm trying to... Oh, God.
Hold on one moment, okay? Let me broadcast to the officers.
Southeast Unit Battery, domestic violence in progress, 9 East 118th Drive, code 3, incident 1485, ready 1864, signed by additional. Southeast Unit, incident 1863, additional on the battery, domestic violence in progress at 9 East 118th Drive. Suspect is now on the porch and he is armed with a gun. Additional incident 1485. Southeast Unit, 1963, additional on your battery, domestic violence in progress at 9 East 118th Drive. PR stated that the suspect may possibly want suicide by the police. Additional incident 1485.
No black.
118 Southeast.
Step out.
1863, stand by.
Hey, boss man, did you see someone out here?
The officers entered the residence through the open front door and encountered Bennett, armed with a rifle. The officers gave Bennett verbal commands to drop the rifle. However, he did not comply, which resulted in an officer-involved shooting. A portion of this incident was captured on the responding officer's body-worn video. Body-worn video cameras are used by most officers assigned to field duties. They're worn at chest level and capture a general perspective within a line of sight from that angle. The angle from the camera prohibits viewers from seeing everything the officer saw and experienced. Upon activation, both audio and video will turn on. However, body-worn video cameras have a buffer of video without audio from the previous 2 minutes prior to the activation. This feature is designed to capture incidents that occur suddenly, where an officer doesn't immediately activate the camera. Here is body-worn video from the officers involved in this incident.
1841, code 6, 118th Street. 1841 is requesting.
Yeah. Hey, it's the police! Police! There's a kid.
Hey!
He has a rifle! He has a rifle!
Come on!
Come on! Don't reach for it! Hey, it's the police! Police!
Take it slow. Take it slow and cool.
Come on, go!
Hey! Rifle!
Back up to your left. Perfect. Point. Keep giving him commands.
Keep coming up, man. Keep coming up.
Oh, shoot me, bro.
Keep crawling, dude.
Shoot me!
Just crawl, dude.
You had me crawling on the fucking ground
Come
when I'm
on,
shot in
keep
my
crawling
leg,
this
dude.
way, bro.
That's the best way to do things,
bro.
That was a good shot, though.
Just crawl this way, bro.
That was a good shot.
I'll go ahead.
I'll go ahead and
Keep point and these two are rest.
Raj.
Just keep going, brother.
Keep coming. Keep coming, bro. Come on.
This is close enough up right now. Thank you.
The rest of the house, we want to get them over.
Yeah, so we'll drag them, you keep
And the car you hold to the left. See, I don't.
Somebody got on.
Go with that.
I got a tattoo. I got a tattoo. What the fuck?
Here you go.
Bro, are you serious?
Let's wait till we get him.
What the fuck, man? Bro, I'm shot, nigga. Y'all just did all that just to fucking cuff me up? The fuck? The gun is fake.
All right, dude.
Man, fuck y'all, man.
Okay, there's your use of force. It wasn't deadly, but it was a deadly force used in this particular situation. I don't really have much more to add to that. I think it speaks for itself. We had a 911 call, disturbance, and you heard the 911 call. There was obviously a lady that was upset. They arrive, front door open, the child's crying. They make around the corner, and this gentleman is holding what I guess they appeared to believe to be a firearm. I won't think for them, but I think their actions were clear that they believed it to be a firearm. Jason or Maddie, I don't think you don't have to add anything on this first round. I'm going to come to you in case there's something you want to add that maybe I didn't mention that's a critical part to this before we go to deliberations. Well, I'll go to you first, Jason.
No, I'm good.
Maddie.
Hey, real quick, Joe, on the 911 dispatch, she did say something about police suicide, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And that was also in the radio call out. Okay, so good point. Are there any questions before we start deliberations in the jury box?
No.
No.
You guys have 10 minutes. Queen Bee, it's all up to you now.
Okay. So, guys, what I saw was a woman call, very emotional, talked about violence being ensued in her house, made a statement of suicide, possible by police, which will give them a sense of danger approaching. What do you see? Miss Walker?
I saw the same thing you saw, except for I did not hear the police officer say put down the gun. Like the man on the video said they said. I did not hear that at all.
Okay, Jack?
Yeah, the 911 call said, I think it was the mother of the suspect, said my son, and he's hitting his baby mom. He won't stop, something like that. And you can hear chaos in the background. I didn't hear anybody call out gun, but at the same time, it's suicide by cop is they're going in knowing that. So I don't really know how I feel about that quite yet. So I'm just gonna hold off and see what you guys are saying.
Apple?
One of the most dangerous calls is domestic violence because it could, most of the time, if not, can turn very ugly. So the heightened alert of the officer and whether he saw the guy come at him, and after he shot, he said there's a rifle because there was a question, but I think they had enough information to act accordingly.
Sergeant Petrie?
Yes, I definitely heard that there was a weapon. I can't remember if it was rifle or weapon, but definitely at that moment, and you see he drops it immediately. There's positive ID on the weapon. As he comes in, there's a kid coming from around the corner screaming, which you don't know if that child has been hurt or not. So there's already some sort of inflicted audible pain. And then you come around the corner and you see, a fighting age male hit the corner with what clearly looks like a weapon. I have not seen a close-up on it yet, but it looks to me like it's certainly a weapon, maybe an airsoft gun or something, but that's definitely enough for them to see a viable threat. I don't know. I didn't hear any gunshots when we came up, so that's why I'm talking about the child could be injured, could not be injured. I'm not sure. They didn't say shots fired, so the kid looks all right, but that could probably be, enough for me.
The interesting thing is I think we all did not hear them tell him to put his gun down, but they did announce themselves coming in. I think the energy of the level of the chaos that they're hearing in the background, even though we didn't hear that. And then after he shot, I remember him saying rifle. Does anybody need to see it again, or are you ready to deliberate?
I have one question.
Yeah, you guys can ask questions, and we can watch the video all the way through the
Okay.
deliberations.
Either Jason or Maddie B can answer this. What is the normal I don't know the word I'm looking for here. When you do see that, are you supposed to say put down your gun or like I'm not sure how that goes.
So are you guys saying that there's a requirement or a duty by law enforcement to give them a warning?
I'm asking, yeah, if there is. Yeah, I don't know if there is or not.
You're referring to rules of engagement, correct?
Yes.
I think it matters whether or not there's an imminent threat.
Okay, let's. She posed that to either one of you, Jason or Maddie. One of you could take it, or both of you can give an opinion.
No, it depends on the situation, and it's everything is. It's hard to put a paintbrush over law enforcement. To say drop the weapon sometimes may be appropriate, sometimes maybe not appropriate. So it's very situational dependent.
And so with that being said, guys, and the information that we're seeing, think about yourself. If you're walking up to the house, you know what has come through from dispatch. You see and hear the chaos. A baby's running to you saying, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." Dispatch announced twice they believe suicide by police. And then the cop steps around the corner and sees the gentleman with a weapon in his hand. Imminent danger or not. Ready to vote?
Yeah. So I actually have a question.
I have a question as well. Go ahead.
So my question is this: in similar situations, with for a DV call where that suicide by cop has been threatened, mentioned, that might be what's going on. and the situation is, you don't know what can happen from 1 second to the next, and you make entry. First thing you see is not a toddler, but a child, like a 3-4-year-old child, a 3-year-old, whatever, running towards you. How does that situation change the mindset of an officer? Because you don't know if there are more children there. Because you see somebody coming out, from there, that might be another child, or somebody might just be sick in the head, and they might be sending kids out just to whatever. I don't know. Does that change the approach at all?
Jack.
Every call they go to, and domestics included, you look at priorities of life. The number one priority of life for the officers there are the innocent or the bystanders, the victims, the officers, and then the suspect. So if there's children in that space where a crime's being committed or a weapon's being threatened, the number one priority to the officers are the lives of the innocent that are in the immediate area. So those children's lives, the woman's life, they're priority number one.
And before you go all Perry Mason over there, remember you're only here to answer a couple of questions. Would a reasonable person believe that their life or a third person's life was in danger, or their bodies were in danger of serious bodily harm? That's really all you have to answer. If that answer is yes, then
Can I, the way I look at it, yes. And one of the things that I'm looking at, like somebody just said, I'm so sorry, is the officer's job is not, there is no book. Every situation is different. They must act in the moment, in the second. So the officer coming in, announcing themselves and seeing the situation, seeing the suspect putting fire. Not only that, he made sure to hit him in the leg and not in the chest, which would have been fatal. I think the officer went beyond his training to neutralize the situation.
But that's kind of why I was asking the question, though, because sorry to jump in again, but I was asking to see if seeing a child run out like that, because it changes, the situation does change second to second. How does that affect the situation hypothetically? Because
here's the thing.
it's the perceived threat, right?
Right, but here's the thing: if you were walking into that situation and you were the officer and you had the gun, how would you react? We can't go off of what scenarios have happened before. We can only go off of what evidence is in the video and how a reasonable person would come to a conclusion.
Correct.
I vote we watch it one more time and then we vote on it.
All right, Joe, can we run it one more time?
With audio, please.
The officers entered the residence through the lens to directed in an officer's body duties. Their armor prohibits both audio from the where an officer doesn't.
Hey, it's the police! Police! There's a kid. Go. Hey! He has a rifle! He has a rifle! Come on! Don't reach for it! Hey, it's the police! Police!
Take it slow. Take it slow and cool.
Come on, go! Hey! Rifle!
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, that was like split second. The officer turned the corner and him and the subject were face to face.
So when you notice when he says hey,
yeah,
when
I saw that.
The first hey, he starts to raise it up. By the second hey is when he started to hold the position. On the third hey is after when he started to fire. He said hey, and by the time he got the third hey, that rifle was kind of in an upward position, which to me is enough as an opposing threat.
All right, let's take a vote. Miss Walker.
No, Bill.
Jack, you there, babe?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. No for me.
Apple.
Justified.
Sergeant Petrie.
No bill.
And we're going to make it unanimous. It's a no bill.
Very
job,
good. That's your warm up. I always give you an easy one to get started. We'll get a little more complicated. Okay, now we can. Now, if you guys want to have philosophical questions or for Jason or Maddie or anyone, or even want to make comments, now's the time to do that, because in 3 minutes we're going to bring in the space and see what our space thought about that actual case. So, any questions or anything?
Yeah.
That you want to bring up with Jason and Maddie and get even. Now's the time you can get their opinion.
Perfect. Just in this has to go with the rules of engagement, and I think this is kind of what Jack was trying to ask. The question I think you're looking for, Jack, was does children running around change the rules of engagement? Are you going to go less lethal, or are you going to hold that extra breath, or are you going to try to analyze the situation, or are you going to attack the threat? Because if there's more kids, every second counts, right? Like, I totally understood that question, and my question was going to be the same thing. So I just wanted to make sure that, you're not in the wrong spot for thinking that, Jack. I just think that at this point we just need to pay attention. The rules of engagement don't really matter. I think it's more or less, was anybody else hit? And I don't think anybody else was hit. There was no other injuries. The lady came around the corner and everything was squared up, and everything was, I think that was very clean and good shooting on them, by the way. Very good shooting.
Yeah, agreed. And yeah, that was the reason for my question. Because it's that does change. The status quo changes instantly, especially with kids. It would for me, in my head.
Let's go to our expert witnesses. Maddie, does the child be there? Does that make you be more cautious, or would it make you be more aggressive?
Obviously, it would make me more cautious, but it would just intensify the alert, before you engage. I mean, once you start adding variables, more people, still some uncertainty on exactly who and where. Apprehensive is not a good word to use, but I would say more guarded, Joe, and just fully aware once the children start being engaged.
When you say guarded, or maybe more hypersensitive to target selection?
Exactly, 100%, 100%.
Jason, same thing to you. What does that do to you?
You're number one. Again, it goes back to my number one job is to keep the innocent people there safe. So I'm going to probably step up my aggressiveness, but also caution at the same time. This is not a situation where you want to do a breach and hold tactic where you're walking them out, because you don't know, are there other children in the back who, if you can't see him, the last thing you want is for him to dip around a corner and now we lose visual of him. And soon we have a barricaded suspect with hostages. So I say I agree, cautious, but my aggressiveness is going to go up a little bit because there's innocent people around.
And I would say, it would intensify based off of everything you knew coming into the call. But then when you get to the location and you see the baby.
All right, guys, let's go into our space. Fidji, do you have us in there?
We do. Hold on 1 second. Let me pause you over there. Okay.
Do we have a verdict in there on that last case? What was the opinion in the space?
You guys had a great debate, but ours was no bill as well.
Did you find people with the similar types of concerns or maybe arguments as our jury did inside there?
Jack over on your side brought up a great point about the children, but we didn't.
So nobody else in there had an opinion besides you. Okay.
Yeah, we were from out of the gate, like you said, it was a pretty easy one.
I was going to see maybe somebody else wanted to talk and give me their opinion. Is there anyone else in there that had something to say, or?
Well, I will say the children were there. They already had word from the family, suicide by cop, and they turn the corner and they see a gun peeking around the corner. So I think we were all pretty concise in saying it was justified.
Was there any talk, like we had talk inside the jury, of some sort of a duty to give them a warning, like drop the gun and then you can shoot if they didn't?
We didn't have that discussion over here. Within split seconds, once you see a gun and it's up, I don't think they're obligated to give him a warning. In that situation, they're in danger.
Okay, very good. I'm hoping this is working well. You guys are able to have some good conversations and debates in there. But we're going to go back to get to our next case. You guys can watch it on the stream. Thanks, guys. Good comments. All right, folks, let's get to case number 2.
Hello, this is Nick calling from the In-N-Out Burger in Manteca, California, all right off of Yosemite, I want to say. We have a customer who is being kind of hostile. He's in between both of our drive-through windows. We had a customer at the drive-through window, and then he was like slamming his car directly behind their car, hitting them in the bumper. But he kept hitting the gas, and he was like very intentional with it.
Okay, so he struck their car with his car?
Yeah, he's in a white van. I'll see if I can get the license plate number for you. I don't see a license plate on the front. Looking in the back, the gentleman's wearing a 49ers jersey. License plate number. Are you ready for it?
Go ahead.
He's having a Chrysler Town and Country, a white van. It's looking like it's got a lot of stuff, including a fishing pole, seat covers with American flag logo on it.
Okay, is he white?
Glasses.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
White, black, Hispanic, Asian?
Larger white man. He has a little bit of facial hair, longer hair on the back, tattoos on his arms. I believe it's a Vernon Davis San Francisco 49ers jersey, all red. And we're refusing to serve him right now because, like I said, he was very hostile with the car in front of us. And, we're trying to get him out of the drive lane right now, but he's refusing to leave. We're refusing to serve him.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me start getting somebody over there. Hang on real quick, okay?
Thank you.
And is the other person in the other car injured in any way?
The other people, we just had them pull forward right now. We'll check with them shortly, but right now we're trying to make sure that we can get this out of here.
Okay, all right. 1 second, stay on the phone.
You're good, Cam.
5 King 2805. It's going to be In-N-Out Burger, 14930 Yosemite, between the two drive-through windows. Sometime at 4:15, there's a subject in a white van, white Moldol, red Vernon Davis Niners jersey. He used his van to strike another vehicle. Now he's refusing to leave.
It looks like he's got a box of hazy little things in his car, too, some IPAs and 6.7%. He's taking off from our drive lane right now, and he just left. I can tell you the direction of which he's going in as well, too. He went, let's see, he just went around our store. He didn't leave. He didn't go towards Cane's or nothing.
So he had a beer in his car?
I just seen a box of beers, but I didn't see if he had any open. Now he's swerving out. He just took our drive-through sign.
Okay. He just took off, and he hit the drive-through sign. He's dragging it.
And yes, he's leaving with the drive-through sign. Excuse me. You have a sign in front of your car. Okay, perfect. We can let them handle it for now. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
And then he just hit the police officer. He hit his car directly.
Stay on the phone, sir.
C5, shots fired. Shots fired.
10-4, shots fired. 944, shots fired. And he hit the driver's side. He's dragging it.
Sir, put your car in park. Put your car in park. C5, send me code 3, Phil, see if you found my car. Stop! Stop! C5, shots fired. Shots fired. Get off the car! Get your hands up and get off the car! Turn off the car! Slow exit out of the vehicle! I don't want to hurt you, okay? Look, I want this to end peacefully. I don't want to hurt you. I want to provide you medical aid. Slowly exit out of the vehicle. King 5, we're going to need to lock down this whole parking lot. A-firm. Right now he's smoking a cigarette, not compliant. Sir! No, I don't want to hurt you, okay? Slowly exit out of the vehicle. He's smoking a cigarette in his right hand. I can't see his left hand. Hey, let's back up, Azzy. Let's back up.
Police here right now.
Yeah, 3 are coming. How's it gonna go?
Charles, I'll say it again so you can hear me in case you didn't. Our job's to get you out of that car safely. You're gonna have to come to us so we can do that. Because as I mentioned, it is the safest way for everybody involved right now, including yourself. We're in a parking lot full of other people that don't need to be a part of this, man. So for your sake and for everyone else's sake, it's best if we get you out the car.
We want a peaceful resolution to this, Charles. So why don't you just talk to me a bit? So we can come to an understanding together. Azzy, what's he reaching for? Is he reaching for anything?
Charles!
Okay, have we seen
You mind
anything?
answering a couple questions for me? Huh? No, don't back up.
Don't say anything else but this is second.
Charles, don't start your vehicle. What do we need to do so that you comply with us? We want everybody to be safe. Can you please step out of the vehicle?
We need to pin that. We need to pin that vehicle in. Hey, we need to pin the vehicle in. Watch out. He's mobile. He's mobile. You need to pin him in. Get one of these vehicles over there.
Okay, I'm gonna pin him in if he comes.
Yeah. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up.
Crossfire! Crossfire! Crossfire!
Ceasefire!
Hey, get gloves. Let's get a med kit going. Hold on, get that shield. Get that shield.
I got the door. I got the door.
Yeah, door. I got door.
Turn the back.
It's locked.
It's locked.
Okay, folks, there's your case. A gentleman at the In-N-Out Burger. Some sort of a dispute in the drive-through line. He begins to use his vehicle to slam into other vehicles. Maybe even some bystanders were endangered at that point. Law enforcement arrives. His mode of his act didn't change. He rammed into a law enforcement officer, one vehicle, and then again a second vehicle twice. You saw the drone footage. They attempted to walk him down there. and didn't. So your jury charge is, would a reasonable person believe that officers believe that their life or a third person's life was in danger or serious bodily harm when they used up to the point they pulled the trigger. But we'll add another aspect to this that I think comes into play on this, that there's another leg to this question, and that is that if this person were to flee the scene and get away, would he present a danger to others? And I think that that should be taken into consideration on this one as well, deeming the behavior that we saw. Any questions from the jury before we go to deliberations?
I do have a question. Can you play the very beginning back when he hit the initial car? Because I couldn't tell who shot first.
The first engagement?
The first engagement with the police officer, yeah.
Here we go.
Sir, put your car in park. Put your car in park. 25, send me code 3, Phil, so you just found my car. Stop!
Okay, there's the dash.
Stop!
Cisco 49ers jersey.
Officers have between the two drive-through windows.
That's all I
If he
needed.
had any open, he just hit the police officer. You have a sign in front of your, okay, perfect. We can let them handle it for now. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
And then he just hit the police officer.
Okay, is that good enough for you?
Yes, thank you. Okay,
All right.
guys.
You're on the clock.
Thank you. What I was looking for is I couldn't tell if he fired, but I do think a vehicle is a lethal weapon. So I think this gentleman was aggressive from onset in the driveway. And he wasn't listening or being reasonable. Now, me personally, if he hit my car, I probably would have dealt with him and the police would have got the aftermath. But Miss Walker, what's your thoughts?
Oh, everything I saw on this, I already know what I'm going to be voting on. There is no deliberation here. That was a clear-cut case.
Thank you. Jack?
Yeah, I know this was reviewed in the first one. I mean, vehicle is a lethal weapon. There was innocent people there, lots of it, middle of the day, shopping center. It's not just in and out. And if you ask me, the officer showed too much restraint. I would have lit up that car if it was me way before they did.
Yeah. And we definitely, well, let me ask the question, because I definitely felt like if he got away, other people would be in danger. Miss Apple?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Miss Apple?
Yes, I don't think, I think the officer and the first hit to him, that is a deadly weapon. A car is considered a deadly weapon. No matter what the situation is. So I don't think he exercised too much restraint. I think every situation is so personal and individual. But at the moment the man stopped communicating with them and him, I don't think he got shot for hitting the second car, but because they cannot let him out there to put other citizens in danger. So definitely justifiable.
Gotcha. Sergeant Petrie.
Yeah, that was a clean cut. A little bit too much restraint. I agree. Although I'm curious as to what happened to the first cut, because he let 3 rounds off, or 3 or 4 rounds off. And he was clearly still able to move. I wonder why he didn't re-engage. Like I'm curious why he didn't dump the mag and why the other two dumped the mag. That's all. That's just kind of, I'm wondering why did he think it was just enough shots were good enough and that was it? Because it was a little weird to me. I would have thought he would have emptied a mag. I mean, he rammed him once, then he rammed him a second time, and as he comes at him the third time, it would have been a complete dump for me. But other than that, for me, it's pretty clear to me who's at fault here.
Yeah. And I mean, okay, we definitely want police to protect us, but if they could have talked them down, that would have been a good scenario. When he showed that he wasn't willing to be talked down or even come out the car. I mean, the man was smoking a cigarette while they was talking. So, Miss Walker, what's your vote?
My mic will work tonight. No bill.
Jack?
100% no. And I'll say this. I think when I said they show great restraint, the vehicle was the threat there, right? I didn't hear anything about a gun. So when the vehicle stopped, they showed great restraint in also stopping, but and then the vehicle literally just went, pedal to the metal. So yeah, 100% no.
Cool beans. Miss Apple.
Same. No bail. Right.
Sergeant Petrie.
That's a negative on the bill there for you guys.
And we have another unanimous vote. Great job, guys.
Good job on that one. I thought I really thought we'd have a different conversation there, so I'm not going to spoil what I thought. But let's go to our expert witnesses. Jason, what'd you think about this one?
Procedurally, I thought they could have done some different things. As far as the billing of it, it's a no bill all day long. But this was the use of force continuum roller coaster. I think after the first ramming of the squad car, there was time there where they could have tried maybe pepper balls or some sort of less lethal to get him to come out of the car. And there was a lull there that we had an opportunity, and then it went back to lethal force when he went to ram the cars again. So that's just my observations. I would have tried something in that lull to get him to come out.
Yeah, and just to let you know, there was a bit of that was edited. That negotiating period went on for some time, so there was an opportunity. They had time to get that drone in, which I thought the drone was impressive.
Can I ask what the problem was that?
Ask that question again.
I'm sorry. Can I ask what police department was that?
Metech, I believe, in California.
Manteca,
excuse me. Yes. First video I've done from Manteca, and they did pretty good, high quality. Maddie, what do you have any insight on that video?
Yeah, definitely, without question, no bill. And to Jason's point, when the initial officer disengaged the immediate threat, there was that lull, but obviously, what transpired after that would, definitely is justified. But yeah, to Jason's point, there was a lull, but he's still in a vehicle, so good to go. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Bruce Wayne, you have any opinions on that, or are you just hitting buttons and switches tonight?
I think that no bill is a good call. Man, yeah, that was something else, though. Apparently those In-N-Out burgers were to die for.
Well, the in looked pretty easy. That out was a little rough. How about the number of rounds? I thought someone would say that they shot him too many times. Although I'm gonna give Sergeant Petrie some credit. He was curious to have that guy miss that big old guy. He takes up the whole front passenger compartment of that vehicle with a red shirt on. He didn't get hit one time in the first volley of rounds.
I think the first shots was warning shots, in my opinion.
He landed those square at the base of the windshield, which I thought was perfectly aimed, because when you shoot at a window, you want to shoot down because they're going to angle up. They're going to take like a 4 to 5 degree angle up. So you do shoot a little lower than where you want to hit in order to hit what you want to hit. I think he just aimed too low and it just ate the dash, maybe. Or maybe there were a couple in his stomach. He could have been drunk. Who knows?
He didn't look like he was hit, though.
Yeah, there wasn't. It didn't. He could have been hit, though. I think the poor, if we're going to call it poor marksmanship, it really came down to he was still at the crease of the vehicle. He wasn't in. He was halfway in, halfway out of the vehicle when this is going on, and he shoots through the crease. I think he couldn't get far enough.
Did you guys see when the person sat there and sat there and said that there was beer in the car? I'm pretty sure he was drunk.
Yeah, he said 6.7% or something like that.
Yeah. But I think that the fact that he kept doing what he was doing after they took those first shots is a good example of why police are allowed to continue to use force until the suspect is neutralized. Because even if he was hit, clearly didn't neutralize the threat.
No, and I agree with your verdict. Just doing this for a while, I'm surprised that the number of rounds didn't come up as a count. But guys, let's get ready to go into our space. Let's see what they thought about that. Give me just a second to get the switch over.
What he was reaching for.
Where did that footage come from?
There we go, guys. Do you have me in the space?
Yes, we do.
We got you, Joe.
We did.
Any opinions on that last video, or did you guys come up with a contrary verdict than a no bill, as our jury did?
No,
We did not. We came up with a no bill as well.
Unanimously.
Anybody have any points they want to talk about that one? Or are we ready to get on to the next case?
I had a question.
Okay, let's do it.
Go ahead.
So where did the footage, and it doesn't have anything to do with, it doesn't impact my decision, but where did the footage come from where they're looking down like directly into the car when he's reaching for something?
That was drone footage.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, the drone footage was pretty good. And In-N-Out also had some sort of an AI attached to theirs. Did you notice how it was outlining and recognizing the shapes of cars?
Yeah, I didn't know where that came from. I thought maybe that was just like police editing the footage or something to highlight something. I didn't know.
No, the red lines, that came from the surveillance video at In-N-Out. It has some sort of an AI there to be able to recognize shapes.
Nice.
Yeah,
They should have put a
was
flashbang on
interesting.
that drone and send it in there.
I was about to say that,
Ukraine
Jason. I was about to say that drone was impressive. They should have sent it through the window with a flashbang.
All right, guys. We got one more case coming up, then we're going to come to your space case. I hope you guys have all had a chance to review that. We'll review it in the stream so everyone else can see it, because right now it's just in your space. And then we're going to come to you for the verdict after the verdict on case number 3. But let us get to case number 3. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thanks, Jeff.
All right, we're back into the stream, and we're going to case number 3. Okay, this is out of Chicago, Illinois, Chicago PD. They get a call of a passenger that's inside of a vehicle that says that there's other people in this vehicle with weapons, and this is law enforcement looking for them. You'll get some audio this time.
Hands! Let's see hands! Hands! Hey! 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 Hey!
Found a vision. He found a vision.
All right. Let's go. Old Town.
Yeah, Heather.
Hey, Sarge. Okay, so I Googled A-Town. The only one I can think of is on
Right
North
here.
Avenue.
Look, the attack guys are already here.
And we're in this parking lot across the street, library, because the library... Hold on. Get the fuck out of the car!
Hey!
Don't move!
Hey!
Don't move! Get out of the car! Get out of the car now! Get out of the car! Everybody get out of the car! Get out of the car! Do not fucking move! Get out of the car! Get the driver! Get out of it!
Found a vision. He found a vision.
All right.
1834. Yeah. Show me pointing incident.
I got one to point you at. Did I hear shots fired by the police?
Yeah.
Okay, there's your video. There's your evidence. The officers find the car that matched the description of the vehicle they were looking for. The original complaint was that occupants inside that vehicle, not somebody next to them or on the street that saw this, but the occupants inside that vehicle claimed that other occupants, the driver and front passenger, I'm assuming, don't know that, I would make an assumption, but other passengers in that vehicle were armed. So this is the reason for their contact. We think good faith that absolutely probably exists. What we're going to ask you to do is determine the use of lethal force. No one was struck. No one was actually injured from this incident, but the use of deadly force was deployed. It was used by way of non-contact is the reason people survived this engagement. So once again, we're going to ask you, jury, that same question. The officer that used the force, with the knowledge they had available to them prior to pulling the trigger, would a reasonable person believe that their life or a third person's life was in danger by the actions of the suspects, I would say, in this case? You can also use that next leg, that if this suspect, would a reasonable person believe that this suspect were to get away, that they posed an imminent danger to the public at large? I think that would be a question that you could come up with. Any questions from the jury box before we start deliberations?
No.
Negative.
Okay. So
Here we go.
So my issue with this video, I'm conflicted. I'm gonna tell you that right off the bat. One, they had a call that alleged there was guns. They walk up, they surround them. I'm cool with that. The orders was conflicting. Get out of the car, don't move. Get out of the car, don't move. Don't like the fact that the driver pulled off, but I didn't see a real reason for her, the young lady officer, to release. So I'm kind of torn with that. Miss Walker?
See, I agree with the whole get out of the car, don't move, get out of the car portion that you sat there and said, but like the first one, they were using a vehicle. We don't know if they were going to hit them or not. And they were told to stop. So I can't agree with you on the whole, it's maybe not, maybe it is.
Yeah. Jack?
So I'm actually going to say that yes, the commands were confusing and it was duplicitous, but to me it was obvious that they showed the suspect, so they waited until there was somewhat of a clear path and they were attempting to flee. During this whole time, I didn't hear a confirmation of a gun or a weapon or put the weapon down or anything like that. So that gives me pause.
Okay, Apple?
For what we have, without having more information, it was uncalled for to shoot. I could have been teenagers. I didn't see anybody on the path of the car. I cannot go by it possible around the corner. They would have done some. I don't think we have enough information, like who was the caller and why. They have to have almost like for sure there's a gun or a possible gun. That just leaves it completely open. So I believe on this one, I have my own personal reasons, but biases, but I'm gonna leave them at the door. They acted too quick.
Okay. Sergeant Petrie?
I'm always going to say let's watch it again, but from what I
We
saw,
can, babe.
yeah, but from what I saw is someone who was not properly in the right state of mind to have been working that night and was a little too aggressive on the vocal spot, had no composure, wasn't being on their best behavior themselves, was a little bit more like they were interested in getting into something. Remember, this is Chicago.
At the F around and find out city,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And I think you know all too well about Chicago.
Yeah.
So you
Well,
play
let me ask you guys: are you using that reasonable person standard and the evidence presented here? Or are we going back to what we know about Chicago?
No, not necessarily.
We
But
use
I'm thinking of I'm just thinking of like how it is. If I'm that Chicago police officer, there's no reason why I should have pulled that trigger, at all.
And here's the thing. I think, you may not want a police chase, but in this instance, you didn't have any confirmation that they had weapons or that they had actually committed a crime. I think the police technique was not good. That's why I'm conflicted. But
Yeah,
can
there
we
was
watch it again, Joe?
Yeah, I'm about to say, can we watch just a part where they, like 5 seconds before she starts letting it go?
Like right as she hops out of the car. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Ask
Yes.
and you shall receive.
Thank you.
Let's do the audio version there.
Because the commands she gives are important.
They absolutely are.
Hands! Let's see hands! Hands! Hey! 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 Hey!
And this is, oh, I'm sorry.
Old Town.
Yeah, Heather. Hey, Sarge. Okay, so I Googled A-Town. The only one I can think of is on North Avenue.
Look, the attack guys are already here.
And we're in this parking lot across the street, library, because the library... Hold on. Get the fuck out of the car! Don't move! Don't move! Get out of the car! Get out of the car now! Get out of the car! Everybody get out of the car! Get out of the car! Do not fucking move! Get out of the car! Get the driver! Get out of it!
Yeah, she was all over the place with that. She couldn't figure out whether she wanted them to sit tight and put their hands up or to get out of the car and get on the ground. So yeah, very confused, very not in the moment, very not, aware of her surroundings. Situationally, she didn't know what she wanted to do. Maybe she wanted to go up to the door and open it while she was screaming at everybody and handle it herself. I don't know.
Yeah, I still question the police technique. And she jumped in front of everybody else that was there. Trying to get attention.
But I'm gonna ask you guys again as jurors. So we're not here to ask what your opinions on the police procedures. Was the use of force lawful or not? Was it used to defend? Would a reasonable person believe it was used to defend themselves or a third person, or the person fleeing presented such an imminent such a threat to the public at large that if they were to get away, then they would be an imminent threat to the public at large. So those are the questions you're there to ask. Yeah. The procedures and stuff, we can talk about that afterwards.
Okay. Well, I didn't see an imminent threat, so I think it was excessive force. Ms. Walker, are you ready to vote?
Oh, yes. I'm indicting that one.
Yeah, indict. Jack, are you ready to vote?
Yes, I am. Indict.
Apple, are you ready to vote?
Yes.
Sergeant Petrie?
Bill, there was no procure the gun and no excessive force needed to set any threat.
There you go. We have a verdict.
And the verdict is an indictment. It means that this jury would send that to trial and let a jury decide beyond a reasonable doubt if her use of force was lawful or not. But with that, Jason, do you have an opinion?
That officer should not be an officer. That was horrible. That's my opinion. That was bad.
Sounds like a solid opinion. Maddie?
That was difficult to watch. 100% true, Bill, on that one.
You know what? And I'm okay with an indictment on it. But there is an aspect to this, I think, that it would probably be a not guilty verdict on a trial side, is that things are moving fast. You can put a clock to it. When the vehicle speeds away, the second vehicle had arrived slightly behind the first vehicle. So as she's getting out, that vehicle's coming to a rolling stop. I don't think she understood where the other officers were, that they were all on the passenger side and no officer was standing between his vehicle and the two police vehicles, because that's where the suspect went from. I think she could make an argument. It's like, I thought there was an officer there. I thought he was running over an officer, and I think at that point it might be lawful. But I think the indictment is solid. There are a lot of issues. I want to bring up one more thing before we go to our. I'm going to turn that down before we go to our space. I want you guys to pay attention. If you're ever around a bunch of officers and they start looking at each other like this, let me pause this just a minute. When they start looking at each other like this, you know something really bad's going on. But they're mic'd up. They're not going to say anything because their names are already on a subpoena. So you're not going to say a damn thing. But listen to the conversations here, or the lack thereof. And look at their faces when they look at each other.
I got one better for you.
So hang on. I'm going to go to my cops here. Jason,
Okay.
that officer there that waited to go get in his car until the other officer walked by, was that intentional?
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, Maddie, did you pick up on that?
Definitely, 100%, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, folks, not because they're mad at her. It's like, this shit's going to be there's going to be an investigation. So you're just going to limit what you talk about. You got the evidence that you got. I'm not going to give any commentary to this. And you never ask an officer anything about a shooting after it happens because you just don't. And the officer shouldn't say anything either. But we have another engagement here. Just pay attention to the way the officers are looking at each other and the way they treat her.
Found a vision. He found a vision. All right. Let's go.
The only thing he's got to say is, let's go.
Hey, and we're in this parking lot. Hey! Don't move! Get out of the car! Everybody get out! Move! Get out of the car! Get the driver! Get out of it!
Watch the pause of the officer that's going to his unit here. Lets her get by. And she's going to encounter the same thing on the driver's side.
Found a vision. He found a vision. All right.
1834.
He just says holster up and gets in his car.
Yeah. Show me pointing incident.
I thought that was interesting if no one else picked up. And I know my police brethren over here did. Maddie, did you notice any of that?
That was that was the first thing I noticed. And I know Jason can definitely attest to this. After the shots were engaged and the vehicle left, it's troubling to see they didn't jump in their vehicles immediately. I mean, I know, Jason, you run right to that vehicle and you get going. I don't know if they had a whole fleet on the street, but just the tardiness of getting in the vehicle to go after them indicates, some behind the scenes stuff, like you said, Joe.
Yeah, man. Like, I'd be thinking my name's already on a subpoena. I'm not trying to pick up two tonight. There's a lot going on there. Very interesting. Anything else from the jury? Because we are going to.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. If they were such an imminent threat, why didn't they jump in and pursue them? They just kind of laid back and chilled. And then other thing that was crazy.
I think that's our point, Queen. No one else there saw it the way she did. That's the look that we're talking about. It's like,
right. And that was part of my decision. And in addition to that, she was the only one that pulled trigger.
And I did some editing on that. When she got back into the vehicle, the only thing she said to her partner before the camera went off was, "I fucked up." So she knew it as well.
She knew.
But I will say, I don't think she's guilty. I think you could make a reasonable argument. It's like, I thought the cop car pulled up. I thought there was cops standing in between it, and this car was going in between those. This is what I thought I was doing. Although she did not get the vehicle. No one was injured in this.
But I mean, she, before even deciding to shoot, her commands are don't move, get out of the vehicle. Which one are you supposed to comply with?
But which one of those were C, drive away?
Well, neither, but I'm saying don't move, get out of the vehicle, don't move, get out of the vehicle.
What you're doing is
no matter what they do.
You're talking about procedure. I mean, and that's kind of an opinion at this point when it's criminal. And I get what you're saying.
You're assuming it's a criminal, though.
None of the options were drive away. All right, let's get to our space and see what they think about this one. Let's see if they came up with the same thing. That's the first indictment we've had tonight. Actually, first indictment we've had, I think, in 3 weeks. So pretty big deal. Let's go to our space.
So we're about a 60-40 split. True bill, no bill.
So
I'm hearing a 60-40 split. True bill, no bill.
Yep.
Give me somebody for a true bill. Let's talk. Somebody give me their argument for a true bill.
Moni, let's go with you on that.
Yeah, I think it warrants investigation. It looked like they were trying to escape. It didn't look like they were trying to inflict pain to anybody or hit anybody. It looked like a fleeing. So I think it warrants investigation, but I'm not convicting her.
You would indict. You would indict to send it to trial. That what a grand jury would do. Yes.
Yes.
Who's a no bill?
We've got King Day. Oh, he's a listener. Is Corey still up here?
Yeah, Corey's here. Go, Corey.
Let's come up here. No bill. First and foremost, yes. Maybe her commands were confusing, but she didn't say put it in drive and drive off. She said stop. So the best thing to do is to stop. Either open up the car door and hey, give me your hands and show them that you're not carrying a weapon. But they decided to flee. So what officers were in that direction? That car could be used as a weapon. They knew what they were doing. So yeah, I said no bill.
Well, let me ask you this, Corey. You said the car could be used as a weapon, and that's an absolute fact. But is the standard that it could be used, or a reasonable person believe that it's going to be used?
A reasonable person is going to be used. I believe that. I believe that. It went in. The car went in the direction of the police car. I'm not sure if there's a police officer in that car. I think she hopped out the passenger side. So is there another police officer that's over in that direction? That's the thing that would need to be determined.
Well, I mean, you'd have to determine what she knew, and I agree with your argument actually on this. I think that you could convince me that she believed an officer was there, and that's good faith, and that's just the standard we're looking for. But interesting that we're 60-40 in the space on this one.
Joe, can I chime in real quick?
How did the panel go?
They indicted 100%. It was a unanimous vote for indictment.
Joe, can I chime in real quick?
You bet, Maddie. Maddie's got something to say about this.
So I think we just got to make sure that we're not voting for guilt or innocent. That's not part of this process. What you're doing is you're either agreeing or disagreeing that it shouldn't be investigated further. To the gentleman's point just before, yeah, you're not convicting her. They're going to be innocent. You're just going to put forth a true bill. So then now everything is brought out in the open to either convict or innocent. You're just saying that no, nothing happened, or something did happen and needs a little bit more of a closer look at it.
Right, and that was what we found, was that we the ones of us who voted bill, we were thinking we just want to see it investigated a little bit more.
Well, that's the thing. All of the police shootings, especially in Chicago, are investigated. They put them on desk duty until the investigation is done. So they're going to investigate. They're going to look at it over and over again. That's why what Joe got this video from is called COPA. I think it's civilian officers.
We're not supposed to consider any of that.
Why are you giving away my trade secrets, dude?
I'm just saying because they investigate.
Yeah, but we're not supposed to know any of that information. That's not what we're going off of.
Okay, but this it was
well, here's the thing, I believe, and
it plays a factor.
I've got to get you guys can keep talking about it in the space, but I've got to get back to the shows. To the next case, but I will say that I think both verdicts are reasonable. I can go either way on it, and Corey, I think, sees the same thing, that it would be in her statement if she said, out of the corner of my eye, I just saw headlights, the car was there, and he was heading between those. I assumed that the officer driver of that vehicle was still there. I think that makes it reasonable. It's better tactics, and honestly, maybe just being a little better police officer could have prevented all that, I think, but I can go either way with it. But good discussion. We've got it's an indictment inside the grand jury, guys, and you guys are 60-40 which way inside the space? 60 indictment, 40?
60 indictment.
That's well, unanimous vote wins the day, guys. Okay. Next one is our space case. You guys in the space, I'm going to mute you just long enough so I can play this video, and I'm going to give it about a minute, and we'll come back in. I want to hear what your verdict is on the space case, but we're going to show the audience and our in-studio folks what the space case is. You guys are the only one who've seen it.
Okay.
All right.
All right, folks. Our folks in the space have a space case, and this is it. Let's take a look.
Approximately 6 a.m., officers arrived at 5205 Evanbrook Terrace to serve both a search warrant and an arrest warrant for suspect Jose Martinez. Martinez was wanted on 3 counts of first-degree rape and 1 count of forcible oral sodomy. The victims include a juvenile female and an adult female.
Lincoln 742 Santa Fe. We got a runner out of our warrant. Will you start us some more units out here? 5205 Evanbrook Terrace. There's a call built. It's a naked Mexican male with a gun in his hand.
He's going to try to jump the fence. Get on the ground before I kill you. Get on the ground before I kill you. Get on the ground.
Kill me.
Turn around.
No, you got to kill me.
Turn around. Stop. Stop. Shots fired. Shots fired. Suspect down.
All right, folks, that's the space case. We'll do this backwards tonight. We'll get the panel's, our volunteer jury's opinion on this after we get it from our space. But let's go back to our space. They should have already deliberated this. They should have a verdict ready to go and give us both sides of the argument if there are two. Let's go to them now.
How unfortunate.
Okay, space guys. Do we have a verdict on the space case? We've seen the video here.
We do. We are a no bill on this one. Unless if anyone joined later than that and just saw this for the first time and
they're not, the decision's not considered. So was it unanimous? Nobody was for an indictment?
Right.
I wouldn't say that. I saw it late.
For the ones that watched pre-show, it was unanimous.
Okay, I see some hands up. Hawk, you had a different opinion, or you said something. What about it?
Well, I'm looking at this, and he comes over the fence. I don't see him come up as a threat. I don't see him have a weapon, and he gets put down. I gotta send this to trial.
Hey, Joe, could you play?
He picked up a weapon. We understand that, right? Yeah. He throws the weapon over the fence, climbs the fence, jumps down, falls, kind of rolls back forward, picks up the gun, and that's when he's shot.
Right. At 1 minute, he said you can see the gun in his hand.
Okay, I'm watching it again. I'm going to see if because I didn't see it the first time.
And
yeah, it was really hard to see.
Naked man with a gun.
And he said you're going to have to kill him.
Well, I'm tempted to shoot him because he's naked, but if he got a gun, yes.
Burton is not allowed at gyms.
Okay. I would have tackled him.
I saw Jay Wood's hand up. Jay Wood, do you have something you want to say about this? If you could do it in 30 seconds or less?
Yeah, I was going to ask you to play it again.
It's in there, brother. You can play it as many times as you'd like. It's in the pill and in the Jumbotron.
The first one. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, but I thought you would play something different.
No, we didn't. So that's a no bill, justifiable use of force that resulted in death for the space case. Let's go to our panel. Jack, what'd you think about this one?
No bill. Good shoot for me. And even if I'm trying to, and I am trying to separate the, listening to the 911 call, 2 victims, 1 minor child, 1 female, forced, I think it was a forced oral copulation or sodomy, something along those lines. But then it's
hold up. You're just kind of talking nonsense. that was they're there on a warrant service. They had warrants for his arrest, and those are the offenses that he was being arrested for. When they when they go to his front door, he runs out of his back door at 6 a.m. in the morning, naked with a pistol. He goes over and hits that last fence. He throws the gun over the fence before he climbs up onto it. The officer encounters him going through the barbed wire. He jumps down, rolls over, and picks up the gun and gets shot.
I understand. What I'm saying is, even if I'm separating that, because I might be like have a because of what the warrant is, you might have a predisposition. Even putting that aside, good shot, good shoot, 100%. There was a threat, and I'm good with it.
Jason, you said something. Did you say something about a taser?
Someone said I want to tackle him.
I would have tackled him. I'm joking.
Yeah, I wish Maddie, help us out, man.
After the tackle bit, yeah, that's a no bill for sure. But I'm sorry, was it Jack? You brought up the point about having to disengage when you know who you're going to go pick up. That's a valid point, especially when you're dealing with the children, child predators, and whatnot. You do have to disengage that from it contributing to your decision making after. So, Jack, that is a valid point.
Thank you.
I think you've got to go through the mechanics. I always would keep it in my mind, no matter how much I knew of evidence of guilt, is that they're not guilty yet. But I'm surprised the argument didn't come up that the officer had enough time to pull a taser out and tase him either on the fence or when he fell down. He had no clothes on, should have had good contact, should have tased him to save him from himself. But yet that argument didn't come up. I'm kind of surprised. Aren't you too, Jason or B. Wayne? You've heard enough of these.
Wait a minute, you didn't even ask the rest of us.
Well, go ahead.
I was going to ask that. It was like, in this situation, he watches the freaking gun go over it. Don't get me wrong, I'm voting no bill on this. But in that situation, he watched him throw the gun. He had enough time to do something else, and I don't understand why he didn't, but it's still no bill him at the end of the day.
I don't think a lot of people can cry for this guy being missed.
Nope.
Here's my thing about it is that you say, we know from watching the video what happens, that, dang, you could have stopped him from getting to the gun. But
No. I didn't say stop. I said he could have done something different.
Hang on. But in the officer's mind, he could be thinking that this guy's going to come down and surrender. He's naked. When he can't even run through this stuff. I mean, what's he going to do? I think you could flip the coin which way how this guy's going to behave. But the decision is on the naked guy. Yeah, both ways. He could have complied, or he could have done what he did. So I get your point on the taser. I'm just surprised that we usually have a stronger argument on that. Queen?
You didn't give us a chance to argue. You just started giving your comments.
It's not your case, girl. It's not your case. When we go into the space, I don't let them argue it either. This was their case. Why you're so mean about other people?
Oh my goodness!
I'm surprised about you. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Now this is a different one. In fact, I want to get through the comments real quick here, and let's get to the other cases. We're running out of time.
Go ahead.
Right, but no. If anybody else anything they want to throw about say about the space case, go ahead and do it now.
Yeah,
I got a question.
To a no bill because I didn't see that he picked something up. Everything was blurred out because he was naked. I couldn't tell what he did. But then when I went back and looked at it closer, I can see he picked something up. And as far as the taser goes, it takes a couple of seconds to switch from taser to weapon. And in that case, you ain't got time. Plain and simple.
We could have tased it when he was on the fence.
We're going to have to go to your first vote. All right, guys, we're going to go back in studio. We've got one more case going, but we're going to talk about Range Minded Podcast real quick and get to it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, let's talk about Range Minded Podcast. For all you 2A freedom lovers out there, if you're not following Range Minded on X, or at least go to Spotify or any place that you get your podcast and give them a follow and subscribe, you're doing wrong. Great podcast, great insights on both the legal aspects to being a gun owner and some of the practical aspects as far as like shooting sports and things. But that's the Range Minded.
Have you ever wondered to yourself, man, what time does the store close? Or where's the best cheeseburger near me? Well, I'm not going to answer those questions. That's what your damn phone is for. Use that. Instead, if you have stuff related, to the 2A world, I'm your man. My name's Steve. I run the Range Minded Podcast. On the podcast, we talk about all things Second Amendment, whether it be new guns or gear. Maybe we talk about some training. We'll dig into Washington and the shenanigans they get up to. Sometimes we talk about the Supreme Court and the crap that they're doing. It's always a good time, a little smorgasbord of the two-way, if you don't mind me using that narrative. Either way, you can find us whether on YouTube or Rumble, Range Minded Podcast. I'm also on all sorts of streaming services, wherever you listen to your podcast. Range Minded Podcast. You can jump on the website, rangemindedpodcast.com. Maybe stop by, buy a patch and some other things. There you can link to the social medias and all that other stuff. Hope to see you there. It's always a good time. Anyways, you guys have fun, stay safe, and always stay range-minded. See you guys soon.
Well, somebody was unmuted there talking all over range. But yeah, folks, range-minded, it's free. Give them a subscribe. I've listened to them on Spotify, but any place that you get a podcast, you'll find the range-minded podcast. Well worth the watch. And in fact, his daughter's getting married this weekend. You should just do it as a Christmas, as a wedding present to him and his daughter. All right, let's get to case number 5. Here we go. So we got it. Welfare check, schizophrenic, not taking medication. The mothers meet the deputies at another location. She's concerned about her son that is located at her house.
How you doing?
So my son, he's been diagnosed as a schizophrenic.
Okay. Where's your son at right now?
He's at the house.
Okay.
And he also has a warrant out for him because he didn't show up for court because he didn't take his medicine, which was a conditional release, which was a condition of his release.
Okay.
The manic episodes are starting again.
And upon arrival, father says he's in his bedroom and may possibly have a knife.
Giving us permission to come in, correct?
Yeah.
Is there any weapons in his hand?
Does he have a knife or somebody?
He has a knife.
He has a knife? See, I think he took it from him this morning.
That's cut proof, technically.
Okay. When he opens that door, don't let him close it. When he opens that door, don't let him close it. Close it. Knock it in.
TJ, it's the sheriff's office. Come on out and talk to us, buddy.
Got no trouble.
TJ, we just want to talk to you.
You just want to talk with him. Yep.
TJ, you come out and talk to us? TJ! That's how it looks. Drop that fucking... Shit!
County, shots fired, shots fired. Boulders, you okay? Boulders, you okay? Fuck. County, shots fired. TJ. That's up. Drop that fucking mic. That's up. Drop that.
And there is case number 5. This person suffered from schizophrenia, was diagnosed that way. Parents knew this. He'd been acting strange all day. Mom and dad call law enforcement to try to get some help, and the officers arrive, and we saw what happened at that point. He was in a bedroom. They attempted to get him out, and he comes out with a knife. So that's your case, but the standard doesn't change. The officer that used force, would a reasonable person believe that their life or a third person's life was in danger, or their body or a third person's body was in imminent in danger for imminent bodily harm? In other words, being injured seriously on this one. So if we have no questions from the jury box, we'll go to deliberations. Here's your clock.
My mic wouldn't unmute. Okay. So, Ms. Walker, you want to go first?
No, this is a clear and cut one. I'm not indicting on this one. This is a no bill. It clearly had a knife. Schizophrenic or not, the cops were warned that he had a knife by the father. No, I would not indict these guys. No, not at all. It's a no bill.
Jack?
Yeah, no bill all the way. I mean, I don't think the shots were fired until after the guy lunged at him with the knife. So, the knife was spotted, and if I recall correctly, the shots were fired after he lunged at him, and there was, I think, a second and a half almost difference there. So, even that shows great restraint. 100%, no doubt about it. No bill.
Thank you. Apple?
Same thing, 100 justified. I'm just wondering how come they didn't call the technicians to deal with mental issues and instead of the cops. Just being sarcastic.
Thank you, Sergeant Petrie.
Yeah, this is a clear-cut, dry case. I mean, it even begins from when they walk in the door and he says, "May I come into your house? Am I allowed into your house? Are you welcome me in?" He says yes from there, and then it's professional all the way to the point. And you're exactly right. He gave him about a second, 1.25 seconds before he even pulled the first shot. So gracious to the guy. I mean, the knife was clear. He was even wearing a glove. Like, there wasn't going to be fingerprints on after he stabbed up the cops and got away with it. That was funny to me. But, yeah, no bill.
What's even crazier is I think the guy actually swung the knife with one hand while using his other hand to try to push the gun down. And the shots kind of went off as they both fell back into the tub. So I think we have a verdict. It's unanimous.
Well, okay. What is our verdict? Give it to me straight.
No bill.
No bill, justifiable use of force. So, okay. Jason, you have anything on this one? And guys, I've got a sixth case. If we can get through this pretty quick, we can get it. But I'd like to hear what our spacers have to say about this one as well. But Jason, any opinions on this one?
No, jury got it right. This is pretty quick cut to me.
You got buzzed. What happened?
I'm not sure.
So clear cut and an easy choice there. Maddie, is yours any different?
Absolutely not. No bill.
I feel the same way. What about, you guys are going to talk about the guy that ran in the back room and did a
I was gonna say, Joe. I was gonna say that they were in the fatal funnel for a second, and instead of grabbing his gun when he came out, he could have addressed him right there in the hallway, and he would have never made it to the other officer if he was already ready to go. But I mean, you hear gun, my gun's drawn. Or you hear knife, excuse me, there's a weapon, my gun's drawn. None of them pulled their gun whatsoever, which is very, 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 admirable. But like, you don't take your hands to a knife fight. Same thing, you don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
Without a doubt. I'm sure that they'll tell stories at his retirement party about how he ran in the back room to do a button hook to come back out with a guy with a knife. Hey, he did get in there and get the body off the poor guy laying in the bathtub. That would suck. Let's check in with our space and see what they thought about all this. Let's get there now.
Suited to no bill. However, some of these cases, I swear, because they had plenty of time to prepare. They knew this guy was mental. There's some type of dysphoria. So I don't know if I would think differently if I was sitting there on the grand jury looking at case after case and being well trained. But he did resist, as far as hesitate, well enough, because I think he ended up getting stabbed, and then in the same process of him shooting. But I would need a little bit more time and a little bit more training as just what to observe, like what are the things to observe. But I would say no bill at the end result.
Okay, Corey?
I'm going to say bill because he should have just gave him a hug. That would have took care of the whole situation. He wouldn't have tried to stab him enough.
You're going with the social worker? Okay.
No bill. No bill.
I'm glad I got that live on the space. Thanks, Corey. I got that live on the screen. How do you guys feel about it? Another awful but lawful type of situation?
Yeah, most definitely lawful, but awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I would think that a taser would have been a better way to go, but I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You're looking out for your life.
Busy. At what point in that engagement What point in that engagement would you pulled out your taser to deploy it?
But before I even went into the fucking house, bro, knowing I'm dealing with a mental person.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. I don't think they had enough time to even give the taser.
I don't know the whole story. I'm just basing it off of what I saw. But
that's
actually, no. They talked to the mom before, didn't they? Yeah, they talked to the mom before.
Hang on, I'm trying to say something else. I've got a sixth case that I can play, but I've got to jump off and get that, and we can talk about that. But let me.
Yeah, but it's a no bill for me, though.
Very, very good. Thanks, guys. We'll be back to you in a few.
Okay.
Let's get to this sixth case that I speak of. Here it is. By the way, this came in. I was editing it at the time we went live. This is brand new. So, call it's going to be a lot of silence in there. I'll talk us through. Burglary in progress, bank robbery in progress. And here's the video at the bank of a bank robbery in progress. They brought their own bags.
Well, that was kind of him.
You see circled there a pistol with a round drum magazine on it, high capacity, as they would say in California. They leave there. Law enforcement encounters them where the red spot is there, and this is in Concord. But they encounter them there. A pursuit begins. The first vehicle is disabled, and at this intersection, they carjack a citizen's car. Cell phone video from a vehicle behind the car that's about to get carjacked here.
Ay, my gosh. Padre Santo. Ay, ay, ay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ahí van las de estas. Ángela, no, 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 no.
Hey, sorry, God, I'm just trying to carjack someone. Hey! Let me see your hands! Hey! Hey, come back! Let me see your hands! Stop! Stop! Fuck! Hey, are you okay? Mary, 215. He's outbound.
Jacking.
Wrong side of the road. Wrong side of the road. Okay. Just TC'd with somebody right in front of 880. Suspect is 2 suspects running. Okay. 1 suspect, black shirt, all black, handgun, running down Timothy and Mulberry. The other one is in a gray, all gray, with the firearm. Both have firearms. I'm supposed a black shirt wearing a black handgun running down Timothy. There's 2 males, so. He's got a firearm with him. Stand by, stand by. 999. Mulberry. Get on the ground! Get on the fucking ground! He's got a gun with a drum on it.
This would be the third carjacking. This is the victim's dash cam, or the almost victim of carjacking dash cam.
Mulberry. Get on the ground! Get on the fucking ground! He's got a gun with a drum on it. Stay down! Get on the fucking ground! Get on the ground now. Get on the fucking ground now. Fuckers. Shots fired. Shots fired. One suspect being taken into custody. I'll give you an address in a little bit. Give me your other arm! I got one outstanding suspect at the last location I gave you.
Well, looks like we've something's happened here. Let me get everybody back sorted, right? Okay, there's your video. It's a bank robbery, carjacking 2 times, 3 times, maybe a 4th time. Don't really have much more to say about this one. Do you have any questions?
No, sir. Okay, let's go. First of all, they look like Dumber and Dumber. He dropped his gun. Like, come on, Jesus Christ. Go ahead. It's like crazy. Then the cop is driving with a phone and gun and steering wheel in his hand. That was hilarious. Miss Walker, your opinions.
My opinion is that was completely clean and clear. But the only thing I would do is, if it was possible, I'd indict that officer for driving with a cell phone.
Right. Cell phone, gun, and steering wheel. Come on now. Jack.
Dude, each one of there was the 4 different offenses here that the bank robbery, the 3 attempted carjackings, each one of those can carry 25 years. And I know that's not what we're looking at, but no bill 100%. The only thing that I was upset about was why he didn't shoot when he had the chance during the first carjacking. Carjacking is a serious thing, and I didn't understand why he had a shot there. In my opinion, I don't know why he didn't shoot.
Okay. Sergeant Petrie?
Yeah, that was going to be the same question I wanted to ask. But it's not really a question. It's more or less, is there anything that would have been prevented him as a police officer from taking the shot right then and there? I mean, they know it's a bank robbery. They know it was an armed bank robbery. They know that they have armed victims. When they ran off, they both stated that they were both armed. He runs away, right? But when he meets him at the Tesla, why didn't he? I would have took that shot then. I mean, there's no way that he ran up and he saw them pull them out with a gun in his hand. I would have pulled it right. I mean, this tough. I don't know. I don't know,
but did you see the mom and daughter trying to get out the car as he was
Yeah.
running out? So
Yeah, that right there was enough for me.
I mean, that you could be talking about mayhem there.
Yeah, I guess. But they could have been in danger. Apple?
I agree with you guys. That's the fight.
All right. So let's make it official. Miss Walker, no bill?
No bill.
Jack, no bill?
No bill.
Sergeant Petrie, no bill?
No bill.
Apple, no bill?
No bill.
You have a unanimous verdict. Unanimous, man. I can't
No
talk.
bill. Let's jump over. I'm going to put this up. Just let our space guys know we're about to come to them. But let's jump over to our space and see what they've got to say about that. And then I want to end the show with talking about 3D response for the last few minutes. But let's see if we can get our space in.
Gary, go ahead. And then we'll go to you, Corey.
All right, folks, we're back with you to hear what you thought about this last video.
We are unanimously a no bill.
No issues with shooting a guy running away? He wasn't pointing the gun at nobody.
No, but he has a recent history of carjackings, and he was running with a gun.
But he didn't shoot anybody in any of those carjackings. He didn't shoot anyone.
He dropped it and then he back up.
The dude just robbed a bank and he just picked his gun back up. I'm pretty sure he'd murk the next person if he had to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He ran into a dozen people and didn't murk any of them.
Nah, because they was all bitches.
Food for thought. The grand jury inside saw it exactly like you guys did. We're going to close out the show here in just a few minutes. If you guys will keep the space open, we'll call this the after party, and we can come in and keep discussing some of this stuff. But good talk in the space with you guys. We'll see you soon.
Okay.
All right, my brother.
All right, folks. Let's get rid of that clock there, and let's talk about, actually, let's watch a video on 3D response. Yeah, folks, so that's 3D response. Jason, our 30-year veteran who just retired from law enforcement, that is our expert witness, will now do this full time to get this into as many children's schools as possible. It's a fully comprehensive system. They have psychiatric care and a response team to respond if someone's a child or someone is displaying some odd behavior. They've got a system to start addressing that. But if all else fails, what they do is they put ballistic protection inside your child's school that you can't see. Those sliding dry erase boards, ballistic protection. If it's got sheetrock on the walls, take the sheetrock off, put ballistic protection underneath and cover it back with sheetrock. You just can't tell it's there. This gives if something crappy has happened in your kid's school, the worst thing ever, it gives them a place to be able to survive until law enforcement gets there and takes them out. And there's a whole system to get your law enforcement there to guide them in with that. But Jason, how does it feel to be 3D response full time now? Is that soaked in yet?
No, it hasn't. I felt like I was just on vacation today, or took a day off. But next week, I think it's going to sick in because I got some meetings with some private schools. But I'm looking forward to just focusing on the 3D system and getting it as many places as I can.
Sweet. I know we've got some fans of that in here. Jack, aren't you a fan of the 3D response system?
I'm a big fan of it, and we're in the process of planning a space with the MMTLP community, and there's a lot of people within our community that are super excited to hear about it. Lots of parents, not just in the U.S., around the world, and I'm going to be coordinating with Jason to set up a space and hear more about it. I think it's awesome. I think it takes care of. Or addresses, rather, better word there. It addresses almost everything that you can think of, and then some stuff that you wouldn't think of. And it doesn't do it by arming the teacher or anything like that. So I think it's great. I don't see a downside to it at all. And I think there's ancillary benefits too. As far as acting as deterrent once it gets implemented widely.
Now, 100%. In order to get this into schools, I think this is not something Jason started last year. This is something Jason has been working on frog in my throat. Something Jason's been working on for 10 years. It's already in like 19 some odd schools. So it's not an unproven theory. But I believe it's going to take grassroots. It's going to take parents. Your school boards aren't going to do this. They're going to resurface your gym floor, which is about the same cost in most schools. They're going to put a marquee up at the football stadium. They got no problem doing these things. When it comes to doing this, it's not sexy. It's not anything, and it may never happen at your school. So I think a lot of administrators and politicians roll the dice. It's going to take Jack, you doing spaces and having a grassroots effort of people reaching out to those that are representing them and making a clear-cut decision. We need this in our schools.
Oh, absolutely. If I can say one more thing, like I'm in Los Angeles, and I don't know if I don't think this is out here, right? But out here, LAUSD is a huge district. But even with the private schools and the charter schools, which are sort of like an in between private schools and public schools, there's a whole lot of keeping up with the Joneses that goes on in LA, and I'm sure other cities as well. And I think that can also be used to leverage it into having this implemented and installed at more schools.
No, I think one of the issues I think you're going to have with this is that you need to take 15 minutes on the website to figure it out. There's so many aspects. It's not one thing. It's not a blue button that brings the police. That's part of it. It's not the yellow powder that will engulf an assailant in a vestibule. It's just one part of it. It's not a dry erase board. It's just one part of it. It's a complete comprehensive system. And I think anybody that's ever been around law enforcement and tactical work, when you see it, it's almost like a no-brainer. You're a little bit embarrassed somebody even you hadn't thought about this sooner, because it's exactly what needs to be and needs to happen. Miss Walker, Queen Bee, have y'all heard of this system, Apple?
Yes.
No, but I haven't, and I'm absolutely amazed by it. Yeah, that's something that all schools need. We need to figure out how to get that on a federal level.
I actually talked to Jason about it in a space a couple of weeks ago, and he sent me the complete plan, and I am going to be presenting it. in Texas, as you know, Joe, we had the Uveda incident, and I was on scene. Um, and after Jason showed me this, and we talked it through, and he said literally not one kid dead if they had a system like this in place. So we've already been working with some legislators on some new policy that we wanted to get to the table on in Texas, and I've already talked to them about it. Try to get Jason out here, or at least get them to go see a school. But this should be in every school. It should be a requirement. We got to protect our babies.
Without that, we did a show on the Uvalde and compared it if it had 3D response. There's zero chance. It was almost 4 minutes before between the first 911 call and he actually entered the school where he was confronted where he could shoot a child. So 100% would have worked there.
Joe, can I add one thing real quick?
Go ahead, sir.
Joseph Stalin once said that one death is a tragedy, a million deaths is a statistic. And unfortunately, this happens so often in our schools that we can, oftentimes we can find ourselves referring to all these kids dying as a statistic. Not being insensitive. I'm just saying that's horrible because each one is beyond tragic, and if every child that this potentially saves is absolutely worth it. So there's I don't see a downside to not having this. So Jason, thank you.
No, you're welcome. It's been a passion of mine for years, and it started when I was a school cop shortly after Columbine, and then I started teaching response for teachers and law enforcement, and realizing that run, hide, fight is crap. Realizing that the teacher's response is crap because the building doesn't support the response, and it's been a passion of mine. We created a system, and Joe's right. It took 10 years to come up with the system we created, and the big word there is system. All these one-trick ponies are not going to stop a bullet. They're not going to be tactically deployed, and that's what we came up with, a system that's tactical to keep our kids safe, give the tools to the teachers to respond, give the tools to the police officers and gun-carrying people when they're in the building, and it's been amazing, the response that I've gotten from tactical-minded people when they see it. It's like, this is a game changer, and it truly is a game changer.
Now, without a doubt, folks out there, follow Jason on X, just 3D Response. Go to www.3dresponse.com. Take a look at the system. I think I think it needs to be included into all building codes, like we did with our fire code. Jason is one who taught me this, but we haven't lost a child to a fire in a school since 1959, and it's because of the fire suppression and alarm system. Jason's system is that for school shootings. And guys, with that, go ahead, Bruce. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Jason does an excellent job of talking you through it. I've heard him explain it many, many times. It doesn't really hit you just how effective of a system it is until you walk through it. He walked us through it and explained how it worked. Once you're in that school,
hang on now. Explain that. You've been to a school where this is installed, and Jason walked you through it in Minnesota. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. It is actually mind blowing just how he has thought of every detail. Everything works hand in hand, and he does it somehow all without making the school feel like a prison. In fact, you don't even notice it until it's pointed out to you. So that's just my 2 bits on it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Bruce Wayne has seen it. But once again, guys, give Jason a follow on X. Go to the 3D Response, take a look at it, and then figure out what politician you talk about. But instead of asking your school to pay money for it, have the state pass a law saying that when you build the next one, this has to be in it. It can be done for pennies on the dollar, to be quite frank with you. Guys, that's our show for this Friday. A great show. Looks like we lost Sergeant Petrie, but I want to thank him. I want to thank each and every one of our volunteers for taking out the time. Guys, they come in for a rehearsal on Thursday, so they put a little effort into doing this for us all. So it's greatly appreciated. You guys did great tonight. Of course, Jason, our expert witness, and our new expert witness, Maddie B. I want to thank you for showing, and Bruce Wayne, and everybody out in the space. We've got a big space going that, in fact, that'll be our after party here. Give me about 20 minutes, and I'll join you in it. But catch us on X for the after party. Thanks, everyone.
you ever get any money from Costello?
No.
And did you ever get any money from Meyer Lansky?
I never got money from any of those fellas.
None of those
None
fellas?
of those fellas. None of these that I've been reading about, or none that I knew. They never gave me anything.
None of the Fichettes?
No.
You
I
think-
don't even speak to the. I mean, I met that Charlie once or twice. I don't even talk to him.
You don't like him?
I was conscious of the fact that he had a reputation for being an outstanding bookmaker.
You ever hear him referred to as the Prime Minister of the Underworld?
That term I did not.
Also known as Duck Corella. I refuse to answer on the grounds of making offense of got any business? I refuse to answer on the grounds of offense of criminal. You have any profession? I refuse to answer on the grounds of making offense. Have any occupation? I refuse to answer on the grounds of making offense. Are you a known racketeer?
An incarcerated individual's use of institutional telephones constitutes consent, and your calls may be provided to law enforcement agencies. Thank you for using Securus.